Okay, we're going to welcome our students now. They've been sitting in the waiting room for a while. Let me just let them in. So excited to have them all here. We've got Leonie, Andrew, and Josh joining us today. And they're going to share a bit of their experience with us today. Hey guys, I can't see any of you yet. There we go. Hi, Andrew. So nice of you to join us today.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Josh, hey guys, you are live on Facebook. Isn't that amazing? How exciting. Thank you so much for joining us today. You obviously represent quite a different, different generations, and I've just been speaking about that. And we've also just seen a student feedback video about how BSD is not just for young people. It's for anyone really who wants to learn. So we've got a few different questions. I'll just put them on the screen really quickly so that everyone can see them, but then we'll move into, just our faces again. So we've got a few different questions here. And obviously, if you have anything else you want to share, if you want to say anything else, you can do at any point. This is really just about hearing your guys' experience and what you thought, so that people can get a bit of a better idea of, what BSD is and what it's all about. So there's these 5 questions. How would you describe BSD, for example, in your own words? What was your personal highlight, over the year that you did with us? What have you learned for attending BSD? And what are your favorite things? And then also a really good question is, what challenged you the most? So let's keep these questions in mind, and I'll basically just throw one out there and, tell you guys, just go for it kind of thing. Okay. All right. So let's start with how would you in your own words describe BSD? And why don't we start with Andrew? Do you want to start?
Yeah. I would say it's Christ-centered and it's faith-filled, but it's a lot of fun. You learn quite a lot, and here's me as a 60-year-old who sort of came in and really enjoyed myself. It's been a brilliant 2 years I've been involved, certainly with BSD. Loved all the worship sessions. We do lots, learn lots of new worship songs from being from a more traditional hymn singing background. So that's been good from my point of view.
Very cool. Thank you, Andrew. Josh, how would you describe BSD in your own words? It doesn't have to be long. Just what would you say it is like?
I think a place where you can kind of learn things together, and as a group you can kind of go through the different topics and learn as a group. Obviously on an individual level, but also as a kind of the class or the group kind of thing. Yeah.
So that kind of place where you can learn together and you can grow together. I love that. Yeah. Great. Yeah. What about you, Leonie? I won't ask everyone all 5 questions, but I just think this is a good one to ask everyone.
I think can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I think church. I think that's how I would describe BSD, because it's not just some kind of class or school you go to. It's the whole community, and it's fellowship together, and what you said, guys, learning together, but also having that, just having that community and just lifting each other up and everything, worshiping together. So it's just church.
That's amazing. It is ultimately church, isn't it? Because we come together and do all those things. So thank you. That's great. Okay, well, why don't we ask, what was your personal highlight? Was there a personal highlight? And I'll just throw this question out. If anybody has an answer, just go for it. And then we'll see, who kind of wants to share something. If you have a personal highlight, what was your personal highlight? If not, what have you learned through attending BSD? That is the other question that you could also choose.
I've got a personal highlights because especially this year, since it's been a bit strange, and it's not like it was last year. So we didn't really do proper teaching sessions, but we focused more on, the social aspect of it, and, just being a community. And I think that was my highlight, like that we met up and we just talked and we just checked on each other, and we just, yeah, just, I don't know, just encourage each other and stuff like that. It was just great because I didn't know really what to expect, and because the teaching sessions are usually the main part, and since we didn't really have that, the focus was more on the social, and it was just really good, especially in this time, to have that and to have people check in on you and to just being able to talk about different things we're struggling with. So that was definitely my highlight, just the just how close we got through that.
Amazing, I love that. Highlight, or what have you learned through BSD?
I think that I kind of said it similar, but also similar to Leonie, about the kind of the community side of things, like the kind of social side of things, especially like the first year that I did. It was very much like we were all quite close as a group and things, and also this year it's been really good in that aspect as well, and so similar to what Leonie says, just about kind of especially when we're in person in the classroom and we're sat next to each other and we're chatting and we're doing different activities. I think that's probably the highlight for me, was when we did that and things. So
great, thank you, Josh. Andrew, go for it.
Yeah, I think with me it's sort of been learning the some of the gifts of the spirit, and exploring the prophetic, because that's something I'd never come across before, and that's something that has opened up something very different for me in my life. So yeah. And
did you feel like BSD was a place where you were able to explore that? Because often it's like it needs to be some kind of like a safe atmosphere where you can learn and explore.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I think as well, sort of when we did the sessions at the well as well, that seems a lifetime ago now, that, but yeah, when we could all meet up. But I always think that was a good highlight. That was a really good day.
So when we all kind of joined together to put on like a really cool interactive session at one of them, the events here that happen on a regular basis, or before COVID, that were happening in person, called the Well. So that was a really good thing, wasn't it? We all kind of did that together as BSD, which was a really cool, that was a really cool experience. Great. There's just two more questions. So what is your favorite thing about BSD? So I'll ask all of you that, and then we have the last question is, what challenged you most? So what is your favorite thing about BSD? And then we'll ask afterwards the challenges.
I think it's sort of sharing our faith through fellowship. That's been the highlight, really. It's been it's been real, and the fact that we are just a multi-generation, we all contribute. It's not all one-sided. Everybody puts the two penny within, as we say.
Yeah, learning from each other, right?
Yeah,
and learning with each other rather than like just someone standing at the front and teaching. It's learning together and from each other. That's really cool. Go on, Leonie.
I think my favorite thing about BC is, even though it's it is church, but it just never gets boring. It's got so many different aspects to it that it's just, every time it's just, you get something different out of it, and it's just really diverse. And I think that's what I really like about it. I mean, it's the people, obviously, because we're different from different backgrounds and different age and everything, but also the teaching itself, or like the different things we're doing, like if it's the social or worship night or games night, or we're just doing so many different things that it's just it's just a lot going on. It just never gets boring. It's really good.
Cool. It's kind of the variety aspect, that it's like lots of different things, and that's really cool. I like that. Awesome. Thank you. What about you, Josh?
I think for me it's the different topics that we've learned, and the different kind of teaching topics that we've learned. For me, just going into things that you don't really, or you haven't really kind of heard about or kind of even spent any time on, and just kind of exploring these different topics, I think was really good and has been really good. So yeah, I think that's my favorite bit. Just obviously the community side of things is something that I really enjoy. But yeah, the teaching has been really good. So
great, thank you, Josh. Okay, moving on to the last question, and then I want you guys to say something afterwards. But last question is, you know, what were there some challenges? Were you challenged at all throughout the year? And then how? You know, if there was a challenge, how were you challenged? I'd really like to know that.
I think with me, it's probably that WhatsApp message from Hannah saying, Andrew, will you just organise this Church Wigan evening for me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And trying to think what to do and what to put together for a Church Wigan worship live session. That was the
so kind of like stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something that you maybe haven't done before.
Yeah.
Right. How did it go then?
I think it went well. I think everybody seemed to enjoy it. So yeah. So I think as well, the other, it's interesting seeing how other people have blossomed as they've been challenged as well. You know, I think everybody grows through BSD. Yeah, you know, you must see that as well, the way the people, you know, especially some of the shyer, quieter ones that, start to come out of the shell.
Yeah, that's really true. Yeah.
I think for
okay.
I think for me it was the like I said before, the new topics and kind of going away, and kind of being challenged by things that you've learned on the night and kind of thinking about it in the week, and like the spiritual gifting and things like that, and kind of doing something about it, not just kind of like talking about it on a Wednesday night and then kind of going away and doing nothing about it, but actually like praying into it and kind of acting on it. I think that was kind of a big challenge for me, I think.
Yeah, that is a challenge, isn't it? How to put what we learn theoretically into practice. That's I think a challenge for, that's a good one. Thank you, Josh. What about you, Leonie?
I think for me, actually, what was also my highlight, like the whole thing with that we're constantly checking on each other and encouraging each other, and just like just being there and being this community. And I think that was also a challenge for me, because like, especially when we struggle with things, it's just really hard to open up sometimes and to speak about it. So I think it was good. Like afterwards, every time, like afterwards, I just realized, all right, that was really good that I shared something, or that, you know, we just talked about it. But every time before, I'm like, all right, need to share, you know, it's just hard sometimes. So I think that was a challenge, but also really good things, like a really good thing afterwards every time. If that makes sense.
Totally. That is a very challenging, you know, thing. That's part of BSD, definitely. It's very understandable. Great. Well, thanks so much, guys. I just have this last thing. If you could say, or even just generally getting involved with BSD.
You just cut out there. Can you repeat that?
My internet connection is unstable. That's the last thing I need right now. Am I back?
Yes.
You're there.
Okay. Yeah. So if you could say one thing to someone who's considering being a student or just generally getting involved with BSD, what would you say to them?
Do it.
It's just the best thing you can do. Even though it might seem really challenging, or like, I don't know, it's gonna get you out of your comfort zone, but it's gonna let you grow so much. And it's just the best thing, this fellowship together, and learning so much more about God. Like I feel like through BSD I just got to know God so much better and so much more. aspects of him. So yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think you don't really I think you don't really realize that there's things so much that you would like to learn before you actually do it, and how much you could learn before you actually do it. And I think I'd say to anyone that it's just great to learn different things about your faith and about God, and it will definitely get you closer to people, but also closer to God.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming along. Really appreciate having you here and for all your feedback. And yeah, you are released. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.
Bye.
Guys, thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.